So today, I picked up St. Andrews, the old course. We're going to play the back nine in some of the windiest conditions you can select on TrackMan. And I've actually played this golf course a few months before the British Open back in 2015, and very similar winds, surprisingly. Um, and it's brutal. We'll put it to you that way. So let's get the ball rolling here and see how we do. So we got number 10 is a par 4. It's actually right next to number 11. 11 shoots down right down next to it. 9 shoots down right next to it on the other side to your right. This shot's dead into the wind, blowing to the right. And 27 miles an hour wind is brutal. And this time around, I was actually going to try and select the irons. We'll see how this goes. And I thought it was smart maybe to try and keep a 3-iron under the wind. Because I figured the driver would balloon up, maybe drift off to the right too far and end up in some stupid pot bunker that St. Andrews is known for. And so I went with a 3-iron. And as you can tell, that wind is fierce. So I roasted this too, by the way. It didn't hit this one poorly, and it only went 200 yards. So I was like, that was a bad decision. Should have just hit driver and hoped for the best. So left me with a $174, still same wind into 31 miles an hour, and I just hit a 3-iron 200 yards. So 30 miles an hour of headwind, probably gonna make it play 200 again. So pick up 3-iron and go. I notice I have a lot of green to the right, so I'm not too worried about trying to aim it too far, more to the left. Just banking on the fact that the wind will just kind of blow it into the fat part of the green and see what happens. And probably could have got away with 4-iron, but still put it on the surface, and TrackMan will throw me a bone here in a second. And let me get away with a 2-putt from 83 feet, which I'll here to tell you, I probably would not 2-putt that. 11, yeah, this is actually a double green with number 8. And, it's, like I said, I hit this shot into the wind too, and it is brutal. Here I am kind of showing you. So this is just the left half, pretty much after that pot bunker that's right there in the middle where the graph was on the right. That's all 8 green from there to the right. So if you know, St. Andrews is known for their double green complexes out on the golf course. So I'm trying to keep the iron thing going here. I selected 5, figuring, last time I hit 3-iron a little too deep, so I hit 5-iron here and see what happens. And I try to keep it under the wind, keep it down a little bit to see if it, kind of holds its line a little better. And I end up actually kind of like pull thinning it a little bit. So this is actually going to go deep back towards 12 tee box. And, that is as deep as it looks, by the way. You are gone in real life. You just disappear when you walk behind that green. So wanted to get a view that the slope did. From what I remember when I actually played it, it sloped away from me. So I wanted to take a peek and see what it looked like. And that's exactly what it was doing. It slopes back down to the front. And you can see where all that blue is that's actually 8 green, and then 9 tee box is just left of it. And then that green over there up above all of that is 10 green where we just came from. Yep, so here we go. A little 20-yard pitch and try and get her up and down. Getting a few practice reps at this moment. Yeah, so caught a little too pure there in this instance. Went a little farther than I anticipated, but it's okay. 2-putt bogey. All right, and so now this is where the wind just kind of blows off the right the whole time. And this is, like I said, this is exactly what happened to me when I played it. The funny part was, in the actual British that year, it was actually going the opposite direction. So this would have been heading towards out of bounds, which playing a major championship with that kind of wind blowing into the out of bounds line would have been brutal. But as you'll see as we play the back nine, because they all just head straight from this moment, you are heading straight back into the town of St. Andrew and Fife, and just going right at it the whole way in. So the wind doesn't really change a whole lot the rest of the round. It'll be from the right and down some. And there I hit a horrendous rope iron that was way worse because of the wind. So luckily there's a little walk path I found. That's what you call a smother hook. And was not bueno, to say the least. All right, I'm just trying to figure out the front, what I had to cover the front. At this stage, I'm trying to figure out how much 26 miles an hour wind actually blows your ball offline. So I aimed at 14 yards right. Just trying to dabble in what I think it would do to the golf ball. Yeah, and come to find out, 27 miles an hour wind is harsh. So I actually do keep 7-iron here from 160, almost 160, into the wind to the left again. I kind of hit like a little punch 7. And after that swing, I was like, okay, so 30 miles an hour wind to the left is brutal. Gonna have to be better. A little chip here. Looks like there's a little depression, right? So anything on TrackMan on the grid, red is higher than blue, which is lower. So you can kind of see it kind of runs up. And I actually took a 9-iron here, and I tried to hit like a little bump and scooter to get back to that flag stick, so it kind of releases up the slope. Plus 30 miles an hour wind, I'm not really going to be inclined to hit a high pitch shot into that, even at 30 yards with nothing in front of me. So just a little 9-iron bump and go. And it almost did what I wanted it to do. Didn't quite get out there far enough. Still needed to go a few more feet to get in that gimme range. But 2-putt bogey, plugging along. So here we got 13, decent par 4. Actually, when I played this one, I can't remember if it was this hole or the next one. I think it was this one. They actually had us hitting off of little strips of AstroTurf because it was getting prepped for the British Open, and everybody has to kind of lay up in the same spot, and they didn't want everybody to hit off the fairway, so you actually had to hit off a little like 1 foot by 6 inch wide turf strip that was literally wide enough for a divot, and you just put your ball underneath it and go, so that way you didn't terrorize the fairway. So actually here I hit 3 wood. I don't know if I end up changing that or not in the bottom. Hey, dude, look at that. Hey, I remembered. I guarantee you I forget at some point along the way here too, because I go in and out. Yeah, and so I keep on the right side of the fairway. There's a lot of fairway to the left because it's kind of like a shared fairway right there in the middle. You can see the other fairway coming up the other side. So I just kind of bunt it up here. Found me a little strip, avoided the bunkers. It was actually pretty straight, which is helpful because it was more down and going left than just straight left. Yep, so here we are again. I'm like, okay, so we got a front right pin, wind going down and to the left. So it's like not a great combination. So I think I ended up pulling pitch and wedge here. I think I could get pitch and wedge is what my strategy was. I was like, yeah, I clicked the wrong thing. Here we go, pitch and wedge. Yep, all right. And trying to hit just smooth the pitch and wedge out there and see what the wind does to it. Now, for those of you that want to know, downwind does not help as much in carry as into the wind will hurt your carry. So it's not, like where I hit that 3-iron that normally goes like 240, went 200. This pitch and wedge aired out like an extra 30, looks like. But I also hit it pretty poorly. I tugged it, so that was probably going to go long anyways. So it ended up being a 205-yard pitch and wedge. Not a good pitch. Not realistic in real life. But it could be with how much downwind that is and hitting a hard rope hook pitch and wedge to do that. 2 hooks today and the round is not fun. And then I was just like, holy crap, a 50-yard putt is not going to happen. And I was like, there's no chance I want to try and take a putter stroke at this thing. So I just grabbed wedge and decided to say sorry to St. Andrew's massive double green and just try to throw a wedge in it. But I actually hit it what I thought was a decent wedge shot, and the wind knocked it down so freaking hard that it didn't even carry 40 yards. And that's what you get when you get Gale Force winds. Another 2-putt bogues. So here's a fun tee ball that I would never want to do in real life, where you have to aim it legitimately out of bounds. That white picket fence that you see underneath the markers there is pretty much out until where my cursor at the bottom right says 313. you're pretty much out of bounds the entire way. But the wind's going 30 off the right, so I'm sitting here going, there's no chance this ball goes out of bounds. And actually, on the other side of the out of bounds stakes is another golf course. There's actually a few St. Andrews golf courses there, not just the old course. And the town of St. Andrews is just awesome, by the way. So, yeah, pulled the ripcord on driver. Just still in disbelief of how much this ball just goes left. Just crazy. Still catch a piece of the fairway, though. So, winner. Actually, I think it rolls the first cut. Yeah, I rolled out first cut. Bugger. But, always weird flex on a 350 drive. So, par 5. Got to just make a decision on what we're going to do here. It's down again, downwind, and a little bit to the left. So, I kind of aim it off to the right. It's 253 to the flag, 240 there. I can't carry 3-iron that far, but I was thinking maybe with the wind I could. Now you can see the wind shifted to just straight left. It's not helping anymore as much, and I think that might have been my downfall. But I don't change it from 3-wood. I hit 3-iron here. I don't know if I didn't change it from 3-wood to 3-iron. So I hit the 3-iron. Sorry for the graphic problem there. That was on my computer's side, not yours. And didn't quite carry that hill. God, if I could have got over that hill, I've been on the green with a legit eagle look. And that is a ridiculously little basin down there that I remember that one pretty good. And then you got the tee box over there to your right. That's actually something I learned about Scotland, is that when you go to a really old timey golf course, the tee boxes are literally like 7 steps off of the green. And that's what blew my mind at St. Andrews, was how close everything was in proximity to each other. I mean, you are stacked in on top of each other. And so here we just got a basic little 20-yard pitch, and I'm going to try and toss a little something up there. End a little to the right because it looks like it's going to go a little to the left. The wind also takes it to the left, and I hit the flag stick. That's invisible, so that was a fun little carrot. They pull the flag stick, but I hit it. And give me a drop-down birdie. Take it. Thank you, simulator. Oh, yeah, so here's another double fairway. You can see where it's massively wide under where it says 309 on the bottom right of the screen. And it's kind of like adjoins in the middle. Again, just straight aiming out of bounds, and just hoping for the best at this point. Fun fact: when my wife and I played this one, she actually aimed for and hit it to the wrong flag because it is yet again another double green. So that was amusing. So they'd have one color going out and one color coming in. Yeah. So remember, I aimed this thing out of bounds at that road, and it worked all the way over to the left. That's how crazy that shot was. Just ridiculous. So that leaves me with 130. And Gale Force wind off the right, going left and down. Just do what you can with what you got at this point, right? So aiming it way out to the right. I mean, that's 23 yards right is where I've aimed this shot in anticipation for that wind. And that blowing grass in front of you is not giving a great representation of what 30 miles an hour wind is like. And you can see the minute I hit it, it just takes off, goes left, and then just launches. And you know what's funny? I hit it into that bunker when I was actually on that golf course. So I've actually hit this bunker shot, this exact bunker shot. I know it all too well, unfortunately. But just throw this little wedger up there and hope I carry the lip, which is a very tall and impressive lip, by the way. It is not a simple bunker shot that close to the edge of it. And here I go. I want to fly up. I want to take a look at it. Yeah, green slopes a little to the left, like I thought. Whoop, little flub up on the clicker. So I got to readjust my aim here in a second. Reset the target. Yeah, I kind of figure if I have the face open, I might hit a little right anyway. So we'll just toy with it some. And then after that moment, I realized the wind was blowing way to the right, and that didn't help none. But, hey, TrackMan 3 bone, give me a par. Now, again, this is one of those tee shots where, how much stones do you have to aim insanely far to the right and trust that the wind's going to blow it back because it's going 30 to the left? So I'm just like kind of sitting in disbelief, like going, "Oh my god!" And I aimed this sucker a legit way out of bounds. And I was like, "This would be a bad time to hit a fade or a banana slice or something crazy." Which even then, I think with 30 miles an hour wind, a banana slice would be pretty straight. Pump driver. Track into that pop bunker, and I'm just sitting going, "Oh my god, please fly it!" And I got over it by a few yards. So here I make a tactical error. Actually, it was a right call. There's actually a little back slope behind that pin. I aim out to the right, and I hit like a little pitching wedge. I was gonna try and like bunt a 90-yard pitching wedge under the wind and keep it low and just kind of try not to let the wind chew it up too bad. But what ended up being the problem here is that upon attempting the shot, I actually, well, you'll see here in a second. I give it the old chunk toe drop kick and completely hose myself. So it's 20 yards left. I see the lip of the bunker. And I was like, I could get over that because it doesn't look that intimidating, but it's apparently a lot steeper than I thought, because when I make the attempt at this shot here in just a second, you will see the end product. Oh, yeah, not good. Apparently, I am buried under the lip of this bunker. So I was like, all right, we'll give this one more try. So I thought maybe I could hit it higher on the net in the bay. And I did, but I didn't get it high enough, apparently, which apparently you need to flop this sucker out. So after 2 failed attempts, I'm hitting 5. I'm like, well, I am in not a good situation. And luckily for simulator golf, you don't have to worry about the stance you would not have hitting the shot backwards. So I just toss it back out there. Complete frustration at this point. Feeling like an idiot. 25 yards left, and I'll admit it, I did not have good an attitude about that after the 2 in the bunker. So I just hit a wedge and didn't think the wind would even affect that, but there it goes. You see how it blew it even left, even just from 20 yards away. That's how powerful the wind is. Give me my triple. Luckily, it one-putted me for a triple, so that was nice. I guess you could say. Yeah, and then the infamous road hole, where you get to take it over the St. Andrews Hotel. I mean, the way the wind is at this point, you are legitimately going straight up over the hotel. I mean, it. And kudos to my wife, because my wife took it over the hotel too from the ladies' tee box, which is even more impressive. I ended up kind of pulling it up the left side of that green wall when I played it. I didn't take it over the gap. But I cannot imagine staying in that hotel and having a room that watched the golf course, because you would just get bombarded. But pulled off a decent drive, got it back in the middle, so obviously pumped. Also went 340, so take it. 346 actually. So 147 left. There's actually a false front on the road hole bunker, so it's actually a little deceiving, because if you come up short, you're like way down there in the front. But I ended up trying to hit like a gap wedge, which I'm still not sure if that was the right call or not. I think it is. I think I had a problem was mentally. I just said it wasn't enough club, so I tried to stand on this wedge, and in doing so, you will see that I started way left of the intended line. Now I'm sitting going, oh my God, I'm going in the pot bunker. But I land on top of the hill above the pot bunker and make it onto the putting surface, which is insanely lucky. We get a 2-putt par. And then 18. Now, look, I'll tell you this right here about 18, okay? That road on the right side of 18 is nothing to mess with. And your line is actually that clock tower just under that 331 all day, every day, because the cars that are on the side of that road are Range Rovers, Mercedes, BMWs. They are not cheap cars parked on the side of that road. And there are people shopping in those buildings on the right, as those are shops. So when I actually hit the shot in real life, I was a little nervous about catching one a little bit to the right. But luckily, in real life, I hit a good shot. Here, I hit driver. I actually did this almost the same thing at that road that came across. My 3-iron landed on that road in real life. Huge roll up. The right side is not the Valley of Sin, so you get away from that little nugget. Here, TrackMan, I think, hosed me because I thought that was on the putting surface, and it's calling it the fringe. So now I'm 40 yards away, having to figure out what I'm doing again. So, again, I apologize to the golfing gods for taking a wedge off of St. Andrews Green, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to make a birdie here and get it under 5 over as I was annihilated on the last hole in frustration. Yeah, grabbed my 54. That's what I did. And hit like a little 40-yard pitch. Yeah, you get just that's one tee box just to the left of the green in front of the that massive building there. I believe that's the World Golf Hall of Fame. No, it's or one of those Hall of Fames, something along those lines. I can't remember now. So hit a little pitch, see what we get. Puts the brakes on, but just not in time. But it gave me the par. So it is what it is. 41. Thanks for watching.